Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in again to another episode of CivilianTacticalWeapons.com. A couple things are going to change a little bit on the format. One, you may see a difference in video quality on this one. I'm actually trying out some different video software this time. Moving away from my software that takes about 6 hours to render to this other software that it doesn't seem like the video quality is quite as good, but I can render it in 10 minutes. So what I wanted to do is actually cover the H&K USC to UMP45 conversion again, but this time I wanted to go into detail of each individual part. Since people have asked me numerous times what exact parts I needed to complete this, I would actually speak on each individual part. So today's episode, the USC is actually completely taken apart, and I want to go through each individual part. These parts over here are the components that come with the USC, which you actually will remove and no longer use. You will need to buy an UMP45 magazine. This one here is probably cost you for the magazine alone about $80 to $90. And there are two components you'll need to replace in the magazine. So very specifically, there's something called a floor plate for your magazine, which you have to replace with a US-made floor plate. There's a magazine follower, which is the little plastic component on top, so that's part number 2. The spring inside you can just leave as it is. It's not part of the part count. You will need to buy yourself a lower trigger pack. You can buy any form of a trigger pack you want. This one here is actually the full auto trigger pack, single. And actually they were not 3-round bursts in the UMP, it's actually a 2-round burst, and full auto. The reason why it doesn't matter is when you replace the inner components of this anyways, it's going to go single shot, so it won't do anything else, so it doesn't even matter. Mainly you can leave it for cosmetic reasons. This lower trigger pack, you will actually take everything that came out of your existing USC trigger pack, and you're going to replace that trigger pack into this lower. With the exception of one component, you will buy a US-made trigger. I know this is going to sound crazy, but this is also a part, as part of the part count. So if you replace the US-made trigger, which this is actually the HK one, I've got the US one in this one right now, you can actually reduce your part count. You'll need something called a stock block, which is this big squared blocked off piece. This piece will probably run you about $250, roughly right around there. You're going to need yourself a pin, and the pin's actually going to connect whatever stock you buy. There's numerous different options for stocks, and you're going to have to drive the pin in through the stock block to connect this. And this is actually what provides the collapsible stock. You decide to go collapsible if the state you're in allows you to do that. The other parts you're going to need are the rail kits. The rail kits come as a blister pack, or you can get a top, side, and lower rail kit all as one component. Mine are all US made. I also got a US made forward pistol grip. I've got the EOTech sight that was added onto it. And I'm actually using existing H&K rails and an X2 laser light combo for the side. You also do have the option of replacing and shortening the barrel if you want to go with an SBR. I did not want to SBR my rifle, so I've left it the way it is. So going back and reviewing one more time the parts. Part number 1, however many magazines you have, you want to get the floor plates. Part 2 is the magazine follower inside. Part 3 is a stock block. Part 4 is the stock block pin. It's actually named numerous different things. Part number 5 will actually be a stock itself, whatever rear stock you want. Part 6 is going to be a lower trigger group, of which you'll see things like FBI triggers, all sorts of different ones. You'll have to get a lower UMP trigger group. And you'll also need to get, of course, the trigger itself, the 4 rails, a forward pistol grip, and you will get some form of a tactical sight system. One other thing you'll need to do is on the very bottom, you'll need to make a careful cut to just widen it for this magazine. Do not cut further back, which would actually enable the full auto trip. When you get the trigger pack, you'll actually see what the full auto trip is. If that trip is actually capable of going into this firearm, it's completely illegal. So what you want to make sure is you do not do any additional cuts besides just the cut to allow the magazine to fit up here. The cuts that we're talking about actually be further down in this group. So that's it. I want to make sure I had all that covered here. One other quick thing is there is a pin. You'll need this little pin combo. You can buy this from H&K. It's not a part, so it doesn't matter. I have the H&K pin group, which actually allows the stock block to connect into the back of here. And there's a pin that goes through there. So you'll need one of these HK stock pins. These stock pins also have a hole on the side that allow you to attach the side strap. So, anyways, that being said, if you have any questions, please write me at info@civiliantacticalweapons.com. I will not be responding to emails through the YouTube email system. Also, one other thing is please use the forums on civiliantacticalweapons.com to actually, if you want to communicate with each other. I actually go there daily to look for different messages that are up there. I also will post my own information up on the website too, as far as different discussion points. So that being said, I hope to see you next week for another episode.